In the heart of Central America, in Panama, there lies a mysterious island encircled by the waters of the Panama Canal, Barro Colorado Island. This island is no natural formation. Its birth stems from a colossal engineering project of the early 20th century that reshaped the world's landscape. The construction of the Panama Canal caused the water levels to rise steadily, submerging the lowlands as the waters of the Shakers River and Suya Bay kept climbing. This stretch of land, once a seamless blend of pine and jungle connected to the American mainland, was forever severed by the surging canal waters. Thus, a secluded tropical island was born, surrounded by water on all sides, a world unto itself with no way out. As time slipped by, the island's ecosystem evolved in isolation, undergoing profound and quiet transformations. An unexpected species rose to dominance here: the agile, nimble sprites of the jungle, monkeys. Free from the threat of natural predators and the pressures of survival, the monkey troops multiplied recklessly, their numbers exploding on this isolated isle. At their peak, the island was home to over 1,200 monkeys, a population density far exceeding that of any forest on the mainland. Every ancient tree teemed with climbing monkeys, and every stretch of woodland echoed with their playful chattering and joyful cries of pursuit. Decades of unbroken ease had dulled the monkeys' sense of danger, erasing from their lives the very meaning of fear. A shadow streaking across the sky no longer roused their anxiety, nor did a sudden strange sound stir the slightest alertness in them. The primal fear of predators, etched into their blood by their ancestors, had been completely forgotten after decades of a carefree existence. To biologists, this isolated natural laboratory is nothing short of a perfect sanctuary for studying primate behavior. Yet beneath this tranquility lurked a grave peril. The monkey's survival instincts had deteriorated drastically. This realization sparked a bold and astonishing idea among researchers, giving rise to a scientific question that could upend existing understanding. If long-lost natural predators were to return to the island, would these fear-forgotten monkeys awaken and grow strong once more in the face of despair? Or would they crumble utterly, caught off guard, and spiral into irreversible decline? No one could know the answer. To unravel this mystery, the research team spent months crafting an unprecedented, controlled ecological experiment. The core of the experiment was simple and direct: reintroduce the apex aerial predators to this monkey paradise where no natural enemies had roamed for decades. They sought to uncover whether the monkeys' long dormant bodily memories of survival would be reawakened when fear descended upon them once again. On October dawn, as the sky barely tinted with light, researchers arrived at the island's shore by boat, bringing 2 massive eagles with them. These eagles were immense, with astonishing wingspans, their bodies covered in dark plumage that exuded an icy, lethal aura of a hunter. Their talons were thick and hooked, their eyes cold and piercing, every muscle a testament to the absolute power of a top predator. Wearing thick gloves, the researchers carefully fitted the 2 eagles with radio trackers to monitor their flight paths in real time. When all preparations were complete, the cage doors slid open slowly. The 2 eagles beat their wings fiercely, breaking through the morning mist and soaring straight into Barro Colorado's sky. Their huge wings cut through the air, casting cold, towering shadows over the land. From that moment, the island's fate was forever altered. The 2 eagles spread their broad wings and circled slowly high above, their cold gazes sweeping across the prairie-rich island beneath them. Unaware, the monkeys continued their frolics in the treetops, blind to the death that had silently descended from the heavens. The first attack came without warning. Locking onto its prey, one eagle folded its wings in an instant and dove steeply from the sky at breakneck speed. It streaked down like a bolt of lightning, and in the blink of an eye, its massive talons clamped precisely around an unsuspecting monkey. The surrounding monkeys were petrified by this sudden strike from the sky, their terrified screams shattering the silence of the jungle in an instant. The monkey troop fled in a frenzy, leaping wildly between branches, colliding into one another, utterly unable to tell where the danger was coming from. It was the first time in decades that the island's monkeys had faced a predator's attack head-on, and fear spread like a plague among them. The eagles' hunting efficiency was chillingly high, swift and ferocious. They rarely missed a target with their diving strikes. Monkey carcasses began to appear one after another on the island, and eerily, nearly all of them remained intact. Unlike other fierce beasts that tear their prey apart, the eagles killed with cold, ruthless efficiency, striking a fatal blow in a single move. In just a few days, the monkey troops suffered heavy casualties, and the once bustling jungle fell into an unnatural silence and oppression. The grasslands where the monkeys once frolicked and ran were now empty, a pall of death hanging over the entire Barro Colorado Island. Like the embodiment of death, the two eagles patrolled the island's skies day after day, watching coldly over everything below. Researchers recorded every flight and hunt of the eagles via the trackers, and the numbers on the screens were staggering. Just as everyone thought the monkey troop was on the verge of collapsing under fear, a stunning turn of events unfolded quietly. The monkey troop, initially paralyzed by extreme panic, displayed an astonishing ability to learn and adapt in a matter of hours. An unheard-of call suddenly emerged among the monkeys, sharp, urgent, utterly different from their usual playful chirps. Researchers soon discovered these calls were not random. They formed a highly structured alarm signal system. Different frequencies signaled different levels of danger. Short, continuous chirps meant an eagle was circling high in the distance. A single, piercing long cry, however, was the highest level of alarm, warning that an eagle had folded its wings and entered a diving attack. At the sound of the alarm, the entire monkey troop would vanish into the densest foliage within seconds, moving in perfect, swift unison. The speed at which this emergency signal system was established far exceeded all researchers' expectations, bordering on a miracle. Even more surprisingly, in-depth analysis revealed this vigilance was not an innate instinct of the monkeys. Nor was this ability passed down through genetic inheritance. Instead, a deeper, more mysterious mechanism was at work silently. Researchers named this miraculous phenomenon collective memory transmission, a form of shared survival wisdom that spreads through a population. Simply put, when one monkey learns to recognize danger, it can quickly pass this knowledge to its companions through its actions and calls. This groundbreaking discovery aligned perfectly with conclusions from primate research in South Africa, where similar phenomena had long been documented. In the wilds of South Africa, the moment a female baboon spots a predator's shadow passing overhead, she snatches up her cub and flees into the thickets at once. This vigilance against predators is deeply engraved in the collective memory of Africa's primates, passed down from generation to generation. And on Barro Colorado Island, the monkey troop was reawakening this ancient memory, dormant for decades, in the face of a life-or-death crisis. This crisis was like a powerful stimulant, jolting the monkey troop's failing survival instinct system back to life. The monkeys began to restructure their daily movement routes, deliberately avoiding open areas where they would be exposed to the eagle's gaze. Their foraging times and locations were also rearranged. They ventured out to find food only during periods when the eagles were less active. A brand new survival system was painstakingly built in the face of despair, and the monkey troop restored a superficial order for a time. Yet this hard-won adaptation was no match for the constant, crushing survival pressure exerted by the apex predators. The eagles' hunts never ceased ferocious and patient. They launched a new round of precise, fatal strikes on the monkey troop every single day. This small, confined island became a true gladiatorial arena, where eagles and monkeys fought a life-and-death battle with no escape, no way out. The monkey troop's casualty numbers continued to climb, and even their remarkable adaptability could not turn the tide. Despair spread through the monkey troop like an undercurrent, and rifts began to form in the once united group, growing deeper by the day. Driven by the eagle's constant threat, some monkey troops were forced to abandon their core habitats and retreat to the desolate edges of the island. The continuous death of key members shook the very social foundations of the monkey troops, and their once stable hierarchical order descended into chaos. In just a few months, the crisis escalated from individual casualties to a complete collapse of the monkey troop's social structure. Foraging divisions dissolved, cub care was abandoned, territorial defense crumbled, the entire cooperative system existed in name only. The island's ecological balance was shattered completely, and the collapse of the monkey troop triggered a chain reaction that rippled through the entire food chain. Even the island's herons became extremely skittish, reacting with extreme alarm to the slightest rustle of leaves or stir of wind, and a sense of dread pervaded the entire island. Researchers finally realized the experiment had spiraled far beyond everyone's initial expectations. Barro Colorado Island's ecosystem is a closed system created by human activity, its balance extraordinarily fragile and delicate. This experiment was like throwing a bomb into a fragile glass bottle, introducing the perfect predator with no way to reverse the damage. The research team stationed on the island monitored every tiny ecological change day and night, desperate to find a way to restore balance and repair the harm. But reality was brutally unforgiving. Each day of the experiment deepened the island's ecological wounds, and the reefs were already too deep to mend. In the end, less than a year after the experiment began, the research team made a difficult decision to end it. On an August dawn, researchers returned to the island quietly by boat, carrying specialized equipment to capture the eagles. There were no ceremonies, no announcements. The 2 eagles were recaptured in silence, and the experiment drew to a close without a sound. The eagles were taken away, but the scars they left on this isolated island did not fade with their departure. The experiment sparked fierce debate in the academic community. Some criticized it for lacking transparency and overestimating ecological resilience. Others argued that despite its heavy cost, the experiment provided an invaluable trove of first-hand data for ecological research. The repercussions of this experiment far from subsided. It became a crucial reference and a cautionary tale for a series of subsequent ecological studies. Scientists around the world began attempting to reintroduce top predators such as wolves and lions into other artificial ecosystems to observe their effects. This experiment forced humanity to reflect deeply on a truth: ecological connections are far simpler, yet far more fragile, than we ever imagined. Revolution and collapse often hang by a thread. The introduction of a single species is enough to turn an entire ecosystem upside down. The eagles needed the monkeys to survive as prey, and the monkeys' fate, passed down for generations, was irrevocably altered by the eagles' arrival. 10 months, this experiment left humanity with precious insights into collective memory and ecological adaptation, and also with a searing lesson. The story of Barro Colorado Island continues, and the struggle between eagles and monkeys has become the most profound footnote in the tussle between nature and humanity.